Hi folks, McVeer here once again. Let's play some Gwent. I got another deck I wanted to show you. This is a deck that I've been enjoying for a few days now. I've been playing it on stream quite a bit. It is a Henselt Armour up deck, and it's based loosely off of, well, not that loosely. It's based fairly tightly off of Life Coach of Super JJ's blueprint of using an armor up strategy and very specific gold cards, although I have made a few changes to it. Basically, this deck is very capable of pushing for a round one and also very capable of passing early and using the last card to seal the deal in round three. This is especially important against some control decks that absolutely need to play the last card on you to succeed, or at least value that so high that if you pass at specific points in round one, they won't even contest the round. They'd rather just pass. So you do a lot of cold round two passing and a lot of pushing in round three. And sometimes you got to rely on DJ Dijkstra for that extra lucky spin. But generally, the deck is a lot of fun, very powerful, and with a lot of great combos that really work well with armor, Night Elects buffing, and Witchers as well. So let's take a look at the deck. So here we go. I call it hardcore. It stands for Henselt Armour Redanian Dijkstra, as all the units are Redanian units. Dijkstra, he's setting up the set for you, and you never know what he's going to play, so that's usually good. But the general idea is here, what I like to do usually is I like to open with Witchers, and or usually open with a high tempo play, first or second, depends on, doesn't really matter usually which side of the coin I'm on. My goal is always to pass while I'm ahead, usually with a significant lead, and if I get to go second, then I get to pass with, you know, a fairly significant lead, but it's usually enough, as long as I get one card out of them and I'm up with a card. Going first is a little bit harder, but you're able to really establish a lot of presence with the Witchers, even against a control deck. They need to remove all three of these for you to not really be able to build your strategy out. So you don't mind leading off with the Witchers usually as a high tempo play, and then you want to play your Redanian Night Elect in between Vesemir and whatever the lowest Witcher is in case it was frosted. If the row is fogged, you'd want to play a Redanian Knight into that, as all the Witchers would be at 5 and the Redanian Knight would have a chance to grow. So this really does perform well against fog generally. Redanian Knights and then being Henselt into Redanian Knights mean you can have a row that's basically like Vesemir, Redanian Knight, Lambert, Knight, Eskil. And with one immune boost in hand, you can not only refresh the armor on the Redanian Knights if it gets knocked off, but you can also stagger some of the units that might meet, such as whatever Witcher has 2 Knights focusing on it, and then of course the largest Witcher, which would only be having 1 buff at a time. You want to really maximize the buff, so all of these need to be hitting 2 things, and sometimes that involves some numbers lining up. Thing about this deck is you're going to get Ignied. You're going to get Ignied like every game, but you build so much power that the Igni isn't actually a swing worthwhile doing, and if it is, you can just keep building power or just pass on them. Because so they might Igni you, they might Igni a 16 or 17 strength unit, but you might have like a 15 strength unit and a 13 strength unit right behind it, so your score is still very, very large. Redanian Knights are decent targets for Henselt if you have nothing else. They all end up being 8, so you know, when you have a 24, 25, 26 point play, you could do a lot worse with your leaders, so these are kind of like making sure Henselt's always good. You're fine playing Henselt on any of these units. I mean, getting 2 additional 6 strength units out with an effect is always pretty good with Henselt. Henselt, of course, being able to block things like Skellige Storm as well, being a gold unit. Generally, his 2 strength is inconsequential, but you can get some close games with this deck. Reaver Scout is kind of just used to thin and provide consistency throughout a round. I really don't like not running one of these cards when I have 3 sets like this. And because I run one of these, I only run 2 of the Dunbanner Heavy Cavalry. Dunbanner Heavy Cavalry being able to remove armor and get buffed is really good if you get a couple of immune boosts on a Redanian Elite. So you strip a ton of armor off this, it'll get boosted, and then all that armor will be converted into power for you on your side. Sometimes Villain Trettenmirth will be on the board, but you'll have so much armor on the board that your Dunbanner will just come out and soak it, and that's usually good because Villain Trettenmirth is, you know, your opponent is trying to get ahead with Villain Trettenmirth, so this kind of denies that in a single play. Reinforcement, I used to run Marching Orders, but that's kind of almost stupid to do that when Reinforcement is so good. Really, I wanted to run Marching Orders, so I was committed to always pulling the Reaver Scout out. And but there's 2 things about that. One, having a 1 strength unit on your board is fine because Becker's Twisted Mirror is a thing, and that Reinforcement is just better. It gets you a bunch of other tools in here. Used to have Sheila de Tangerville, replaced it with Nanika because I feel like with Nanika, Reinforcement, and Shawnee, there are multiple situations where you can get your Witchers out a second time. Although this deck does not focus on that as a win condition, it makes it possible, and Nanika's an 8 strength unit, so, you know, worst case scenario, she's still getting you ahead some of the time. But with an effect like this, you can probably make good use out of it with the Reaver Scout and with the Witchers as well. If you get the Witchers back in the deck and you top deck Dandelion, Dandelion's not so dead anymore. Kira, almost always Thunderbolt, can Epidemic for great monster matchup moments, even some of the full test moments as well. Shani's kind of unsung hero here. Shani is not really for the Witchers. The reinforcement is more for that. Shani can manufacture the Witchers if you see that that's going to go like that. But Shani bringing back a Knight Elect is actually where she really shines, because Knight Elect have 6 armor at this point. It makes it really hard to remove it. Makes it hard to stop its effect from going off. So outside of a lock, you can't really stop it. Shani's pretty good to use early, I think, and I think I've always enjoyed doing that, even when she was strong at her old effect. It just always felt like a really strong swing, like a gold card should feel. So Shani's pretty good right now. I think her body's maybe a bit weak, but otherwise it's pretty good. And the immune boost, of course, to refresh the buffs on your Knight Elects and to generally just keep your board really strong. And then Dijkstra as a late play just to grab whatever else is left in the deck, and it could easily be another 12 points, 14 points or so. Margarita to reset some really troublesome units like Yarp and Zigrin, Pirate Captains, Spotters, stuff at near the end of the game where you just need a huge reset, but also functions as the lock if you need it as well. So this deck is pretty good. I almost got to 4K with it. I'm not quite there yet, but let's see what we can do today. Let's jump into a ranked game and take a look. I've been floaty. It's been floating around. I'm around 38 again. I've been floating around for the last little bit. This deck is okay. I think my win rate's like 55, 60%. Like, it's not, it's not blowing anybody out of the water, but the wins are fantastic, right? The wins are just, they're spectacular. The games are spectacular. I've really enjoyed playing these on stream because a lot of people don't believe that this deck could win at all, I think. But I think it's very strong. I think there's specific matchups. I think Radovid specifically, it does very, very well against, and Radovid's really popular right now.
Do not test my patience.
Like I scripted it. Here comes Radovid.
Fight for it.
So if we win the coin flip, as in if we go second, we are in great shape, in my opinion. Since I want to Henselt out the Knight Elects, I'm probably going to mulligan that away. The Knight I should have kept. Actually, that was a mistake. The Knight is really good for the weather effects that Radovid plays. So we won't see a Knight again. But that's okay. I think it's fine having the Knights late as well. Weather being applied to the row isn't bad because I do have an immune boost. So I do have to go first, which is unfortunate. But as long as I get ahead and pass early, if he's running Bloody Baron, it's going to be bad. Because if he passes on me and I just win the round due to a good pass, I won't let him have a second round, and I'll try to just outpower him. All 4 golds in my hand. Really hard to argue with it. Really hard to argue with this being a great start. The only question is, do I play Dandelion first for the Witchers, or do I just play the Witchers and try to get my combo off? If I get Nanika, then I can just buff the Witchers later. Although I would only get to buff 1 Witcher, I suppose, because the other 2 would be in the graveyard. So with this hand, I think it's probably better to play Dandelion first. Doesn't give him anything to remove. Forces him to be proactive, so he'll probably just weather a row. But when I show Dandelion, he'll probably weather the front row.
For you, my friend, always.
And since I'm bringing out the Knight Elect, I'll buff another Knight Elect as well. This is probably just an arrow teaser somewhere. Yeah. Right front row, just as I thought. Now, playing the Witchers into the weather isn't bad, but his follow-up could be pretty devastating because he has Thunders, he has Lacerates perhaps. Radovid himself could kill 2 of the Witchers after the Frost. So I have to be careful with how I do this. I think the best play in this case, I think I still play the Witchers here. I'll still play the Witchers here. With the immune boost, I might be able to protect everything. It really depends on, he's going to see 3 units that he can finally kill. Killing units is kind of Radovid's thing. But can he kill them all? Can he kill enough?
Run while you're still able.
He wants me to run while I'm still able, I see. Well,
Tomfoolery.
I don't run from anything. You can also just go ahead and Igni it, I suppose. I suppose you could just Igni it. But it does make him harder. It makes it harder for him to just throw a Thunder out here. But if you throw the Thunder at something, then it's gonna get ruined here. Well, what is he gonna reinforcement out, though? That's a good question for me. Oh, he's just giving me taller.
They've not forgotten me. That's nice.
So I'm passing in this situation. He might have Dunbanner like Cavalry, but I'm still going to pass in this situation because I can't play into this and go down a card against them. It's Radovid, right? Like Cavalry might show up here, but it's not going to, and he'll just end up passing, and I'll make him go for a cold round 2, and then we'll go into round 3, and his Baron will be nothing. His Baron will just be nothing. And this is not uncommon. This is how these games go. He's pushing for the round. This is even better. I think this is even better that he's pushing for the round. Now he's committed. Now he's spent the card, so he's going to have to do something.
Dungeon with him.
This isn't going to be enough, even with the Frost tick. Correct me if I'm wrong. Still has to make up, still another card being spent. How confident in his hand is he right now?
As you command, Your Majesty.
Just getting past that tie with another Tick of the Frost. He had to spend 3 cards to do it. Valuing round 1 more than cards makes me wonder. Makes me wonder how hard he's really going to push here being down 3 cards. The Knights are actually decent. I didn't play Henselt, did I? I still have the Knight Elects to play Henselt, and I think that's probably what I'll do. I think I'll happily do that. I don't really know if I want to mulligan any of this stuff away, so I'm not going to. My hand's a little bit too good to really be
Do you
wanting.
want to tickle me?
So what I'm convinced of is the pass here, because he's played a unit that I would need to get past here. I would need to beat this unit to maintain my card advantage, and it's hard for me to do that without playing Dijkstra and crossing my fingers that I don't get Immune Boost Reaver Scout. So I can't do that. That's really just throwing the game away. I think I just play a unit, and then he'll pass, and then I play another unit, and that's going to be it. I'll still have card advantage, which is important, but I won't have the advantage that I have. The high roll play is Dijkstra, trying to get like an elite, 2 elites or something like that, but it's actually pretty hard. The other high roll play is H.A.R.D Epidemic. Is H.A.R.D Epidemic worth a card right now? We're playing a ranked game. Is it that important to get ahead? I think it is.
Nature stinks.
I think it is important enough. I think I'll take a 12-point Kira. 13-point Kira. Is that so? Well, I'm pretty happy to play a knight into this, aren't I?
Long live, etc., etc.
Pretty happy to play a knight into this, my friend. Interesting Radovid deck running. Oh yeah. Well, I have another one of those. So. I might play Shawnee if he deletes this card. I may have to play Shawnee, or he'll just pass because he can't deal with this. But I think he probably has another Thunder or another way to do it. Maybe he's just going to push. Maybe he drops Villain Tretmirth right now in my face. I have answers. Playing a Shawnee into a Knight into a Dun Banner is actually pretty good too on the bottom row here, because the Knight will still always be the lowest unit. Well, will be the lowest unit for at least a turn or two. He's playing a Knight of your own, huh? Okay. I feel like Shawnee at the Knight is really good.
Well, it's war. Severed limbs, blood, and guts.
Now, it would be foolish of him to continue playing into this, right? Unless he has a Villain Tretmirth. He might just play a Villain Tretmirth. Oh, just going to Epidemic that card as I gain another little bit of my lead here. So now I'm looking at non-commitment. Henselt's greedy now, right? If I play Henselt right now, I get 10 value if the Knight procs, even more if the Knight sticks. And I don't think I need, like, the other stuff is really important to me. The Knight Elect not having Henselt means there's only the one Knight Elect. The Elite, all of these are just the one card. Like the Elite, both the Elite and the Knight Elect are Henseltable. Really? Able to be Henselted. I'm not even really sure what the best play is here, but it's probably the Redanian Elite. It makes the Dun Banner worse, but it allows me to play them all, I guess.
Long live the king!
Allows me to play them all, I guess, which would be a pretty big swing. Thin my deck really nicely. Dijkstra is better that way. The Dun Banner has application now. Not the best application. I'm not really trying to push really hard. I'm kind of hoping he passes soon. Gonna Scorch that. I am gonna bring out the Elites now. 3 turns left, right? They come out with 4 armor. So he's not going to play all 3 cards. I don't think he's going to play all 3 cards. But if I play, and he already played an Epidemic. So let's assume that he doesn't have another one, I hope. So if I play Henselt right now and get all 3 of the Knights out, they'll all proc at one point, but then they'll all start to die. But the game's going to be too short for that to make a difference, I think.
You want peace? Fight for it.
I put 1 on its own row.
Troops, here now!
And I'll put run on this row here too.
Here now!
Worried I may have set up a future Igni, but that may keep him in the round, and I don't know if he's actually afforded. He can't actually do that. All right, then. So we'll take this. We're going in. 2 cards up. We act first. Nanik is a pretty cool card right now because it means Dijkstra has the potential to actually pull the Witchers out. We got her, too. That's the best. We got Nanika. So let's look at Nanika here. Let's look at the cards we do have. We know he's probably playing a lot of gold cards and a lot of Scorches. So I'm not even sure if Margarita is the best pick here. I think I'm going to drop Marg. I'm going to get a Reaver Scout, which is good for the Knight Elect. Very good, actually. The action's going to be on the Siege row here. So we'll start with...
Nasty wounds,
Start with Nanika.
but you'll live.
Which means Dijkstra can pull it. Dijkstra can pull it. I play the Knight Elect into this, and I get my immune boost ready. There's going to be some sort of scorching action that's going to make this game very close. I'm sure of it. Unless he's just stuck with another Aretuza, but he did not play 3, didn't he? There's his Baron. Not so big. Not so big, I think.
I told you so, you idiot.
Long live, etc., etc.
So with the immune boost, this seems pretty good. There may be an Igni still coming, but it only hit 1 unit.
The north, Tamari.
This will get 1 scout, 1 commando. Break the armor here. The immune boost is definitely going to help things here. He's got 1 card left. And it's Igni, and he does get Nanika. So, ooh, this is going to be pretty exciting, I think. So I got to make up 14 points. These will buff each other 1 more time, so it's really 12 points. But it's really 15 points. But assuming all the armor goes off, this is a close game, right? This is an extremely close game. If I get the Witchers, it's over. If I get the immune boost, it's good. Every card is good. Margarita is maybe the worst card. Let's just see what we get, folks.
Lots of prior experience. Worked with idiots.
Immune
my whole
boost.
life.
And Witchers. Boom!
Old for this shit.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of highlight I wanted. Yes. Yes, please. DJ Dijkstra. My man. All right, well, man, we jumped into a game and we got the one we wanted. Ooh, I don't think we're going to get anything better than that. So I think I'll post this one right away. I've been playing this game, this deck on stream quite a bit. I've really enjoyed it. We're trying to get to 4K with this one. We are getting there. We're getting there. We might get there today. I don't know if I'm playing Henselt today. I might play H.A.R.D. We'll see. But that was a great game. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed watching that one unfold with you. Hope you enjoy the video. And thanks for watching. Follow, subscribe. We'll see you soon. Take care.